The Foundation Trilogy by Isaac Asimov. Is it worth a try? I'm conflicted, but I'm gonna go with definitely yes. You should at least try it out. And I'm gonna be giving you my little pitch for the Foundation today. So yes, The Foundation by Isaac Asimov. This is an older science fiction. It came out a long time ago, before Dune and before every other science fiction, but except for Frankenstein is the only. And this was the real first space science fiction. This really did a lot for science fiction. With another classic, it's not just this. There's other classics, obviously, but this one is one of the ones I've read, and I'm going to be giving you my pitch, and it's definitely a lot. It's a lot. I'm not guarantee you will enjoy it at all times. It's definitely not some of the newer. It's not for characters. It's not made for loving our characters. Even though I did enjoy a couple of them, but like it's not really built for that. It's really meant for a long span of time. So just so you guys know, this is not gonna be like we're gonna get to those characters really well. There's no character that like stands throughout the whole book. Like it's like hundreds of thousands of years. The first book alone spans over like 300 years, I believe. So that's what you're going to be getting, just so you know, just so you get a little heads up. That's what's coming for you when you read The Foundation by Isaac Asimov. But still, do not let that let your hopes down, because it is very excellent in the way it develops an idea. Isaac Asimov is not a writer, but more have genuine ideas that are perfect. Like he has top tier ideas and mediocre tier writing, and I feel like it's obviously a weakness, but it's still great because he gets these ideas across to you, and you do think about them for quite a bit, and you can tell how much stemmed off of all the science fiction I've read has a little bit of Isaac Asimov in it, which is I do appreciate, and that leads me to my first point, which is you're gonna build your science fiction knowledge. Because if you want to get to stuff like Dune and some newer stuff like the newer science fiction like Ender's Game and stuff like Hitchhiker's Guide, which are science fiction that are newer from this past, like this era, I don't know, past 30 years, that are different from this, but still you can see how much it's stemmed off. Especially like Star Wars in particular has a lot of Star Wars in it. It has a lot of Dune. This made Dune, it inspired Dune a lot, and especially Star Wars with the Galactic Empire. This is the first example of a Galactic Empire. This is the first example of a space story. Before this, all the stories took place on Earth, and this was the first time someone created somewhere new, like a whole planet, just created that, and that I really, really enjoyed that. Isaac Asimov. It can get boring at times, but you're just interested because it's very interesting, because as he writes this plan, which is basically like there's a prediction. It's based on math. There's a prediction that the Earth is going to, or not the Earth, the whole galaxy, the Galactic Empire will fall, and they're basically doing whatever they can to make the interval of time as little as possible where it's just darkness. And that's like a killer concept. Like honestly, one of the best concepts I've read in a while. It's just killer. And it really it just explores a lot of these ideas that come with it. It explores the ideas of what will happen. It throws the ideas of what happened if you throw a new variable in the mix. It is not a prediction. It's not a prediction of people as a whole, as one person. It's a prediction of people in the masses, and it kind of makes sense in a way, which is really, really cool. I really, really enjoyed the ideas of it. It is one of my favorite part of The Foundation by Isaac Asimov. It is just a great show like that. There is many parts to this book. It is very short, so it's very short but sweet. I can get through them in less than a week, and that's fast for me. So I'm very happy that this is just there. And then none of the characters, one of the things about it was none of the characters lived through the whole book, which I think it got better towards the end. The second Foundation definitely had a lot more characters. The first Foundation book was the one that bothered me the most with that, mainly because you had three or four different eras where you just kind of wiped out anew again. But they're all connected in a very similar way. You see Harry Seldon's kind of big plan, and he comes up his holograms comes talking to him as he goes along the plan. The ending was genius. It did I did not predict it. I definitely thought about it, but I did not think that that would really happen. The ending really, like, kind of shocked me. I'm really excited to read the sequels and the prequels to see what happens next. See, that's what's interesting about it. I got very interested, had a very hard time telling what was going on, or telling, like, I did confuse me for a little bit, because honestly, the older stuff can get a little boring for me, but it just made me pay attention more and more studying it. So if you like that kind of thing, definitely Isaac Asimov is for you. If you were a fan of Dune and you're a fan of Star Wars and you want to see where this was stemming from, it's probably not the most, like, action hooked packed thing, because there was very little action in this book. The first science fiction had very little action. Dune was more blended, and that's why it's my favorite book of all time. It's a more blended of these perfect science fiction idea combined with actual great writing and great fight scenes, and that's why I love Dune. So, Isaac Asimov is a dose of the one side of it, and I love it a lot. I don't know how exactly I feel, because again, I have had my complaints, and I had a very hard time rating these books, but I do think definitely should give it a try. I think all science fiction fans should give this a try along with other science fiction. I'm not saying this is the only classic. I'm gonna need more classics. I'm gonna read more classics, but I'm giving my pitch for Isaac Asimov. And yeah, I can't wait to get to more of his writing. I'm glad I started with the Foundation Trilogy. I definitely would recommend checking it out. It's what can go wrong, really? This is all 3 books right here. But yeah, so that was my video. As for the show, I couldn't finish it. I mentioned this in my last. I just quit. I don't know if I should do a video on why I quit, but I do not think it's a good representation of Isaac Asimov, and I did not like it whatsoever. So I just little bit of my thoughts for today, and yeah, see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a great day, and see you guys later.